Okay, we're going to deal with the rust that's on the front of this ML55 AMG. We took off the main grille. There's 10 screws in total, the top ones are fine. These bottom 4 were heavily rusted in and were very difficult to get out. However, they didn't break, which is good. We're going to soak them in some sort of like liquid to release all the rust and stuff. But the next stage we're going to do now is sand this down and then use gelinite to treat the metal and bring it back to metal as opposed to it being rust. So we're going to get on with that now. We've sanded it down now. We've got to the metal. There's a couple of bits like here where it will need a bit of filler to make it completely smooth. But now we're going to add the gelinite and leave it and get it to do its work, bringing this rust back to metal. We also did the holes where the grille sits because they had a bit of rust on them. As I say, we're going to dump the screws inside the gelinite as well to get them better. So let's add the gelinite. Right, we've got the primer down and it looks smooth other than a couple of areas like here and here, which we're going to use the P38 filler on. So we'll use the P38 filler on that, let that dry, which takes about half an hour, and we'll sand it down again, and then we might be ready for our first layer of paint. Okay, so we've got our P38 filler. We'll let this dry, then sand it down and go from there. We've managed to fill all the little tiny little holes and cracks and stuff, so this should hopefully look really smooth when it's dry. Okay, we've got it smooth. We've got our primer on, so we're now going to put some coats of black paint on and see how we get on. We've got our black paint on now, and we're going to start doing our blacker layers, and it's looking quite good. No sign of rust, which is always nice. Got our lacquer on now, and we'll let that dry 24 hours and then flatten it by wet sanding it down and then buffing it along with the original paintwork so that it matches in. Okay, so we've flattened it down now. We've wet sanded it with 1500 and then 2000, and we're going to use the compound to hopefully bring up the shine. So let's go ahead. And the initial compound polishing, just compound. So I'm going to put the grille back in, take off all the paper, the cover stuff, and let's see what it looks like when it's all fitted back together. Quick one, we gelinited these screws here because they were really rusty, and they come up like black, like looking like new, which is quite cool. Shows you how good gelinite actually is. There we go, job done. Grill on, rust repaired, looking decent, happy with the outcome.